Hello, Purcell Elementary. This is Mr. Cullum, principal for Purcell Elementary, and I am so excited for the upcoming school year.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Torgerson. I'm the assistant principal, and I want to welcome all our new families to Mary Purcell. You're going to love it here.
Thank you, Mrs. Torgerson. You know what? All the other schools are doing videos, and I thought it's about time we did ours too. What do you think?
I like it. Let's do it.
Great. What do you think one of the first questions our families might have regarding remote learning?
I think the most obvious one is, will their child have to be online or on the computer for 4 to 6 hours each day?
Great question, Mrs. Torgerson. And the answer to that one is no. We are not expecting our students to be online for 4 to 6 hours a day. We know adults couldn't be online for 4 to 6 hours a day for remote learning. So we're not going to do that. However, there are two key learning terms that we want our parents to be aware of for remote learning. That is synchronous learning and asynchronous learning.
Upside down.
Asynchronous learning. Mrs. Torgerson, would you mind explaining to our families what those terms mean?
Certainly. So synchronous is in real time. So the students would log on at a scheduled time. They'd participate in a conversation with their teacher and with staff and with other students. They'd have dialogue. They'd get feedback from their teacher immediately. And asynchronous would be, they would log into their Google Classroom. They would access assignments, perhaps watch a video that their teacher had recorded for them, or they might log in, get an assignment, log off the computer and work on their own for a bit. So the two is asynchronous and synchronous.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Torgerson. What might be another question our families might have?
I think they're wondering what a typical day would look like for a Mary Purcell student.
Great question, Mrs. Torgerson. That goes back to the terms you explained, synchronous learning as well as asynchronous learning. During the school day, if a teacher has scheduled for a synchronized learning activity for the whole group or small group, the child is expected to log on during that time. If it's a small group synchronized learning activity, the rest of the students in that class will be involved in asynchronous learning, but that could be at a time that works best for them, whether it's reading a book, finishing an assignment, uploading an assignment, or watching a learning activity that has been recorded. And again, all this can take place throughout the day and even after the day. What might be another question students might have?
I think parents are wondering about attendance. How does their children show up and be counted present for school?
Great question, Mrs. Torgerson. Again, those activities can take place during the regular school day between 9:30 and 3:30. However, if it works best for a family, they can participate in activities after 3:45. And that means if a child logs on for any of those synchronized learning activities for a whole group or small group, that counts for attendance that day. The child watches a recorded lesson, completes the assignment, and uploads that assignment into Google Classroom, that counts for attendance that day. If they call the teacher, email the teacher about assignment, that's attendance. Key here is that that can take place between 9:30 and 3:30, or if it works best for the families, those activities can take place after 3:45 in the evening, and doing any of those activities and uploading an assignment into Google Classroom counts for attendance that day. Mrs. Torgerson, do you mind explaining the difference between how last spring looked compared to this fall when it comes to remote learning?
I think the biggest difference is that our teachers are prepared. And in the spring, we were in emergency mode and we were reacting, whereas we're prepared. Teachers are able to offer flexible schedules for their families. They're able to offer highly engaging lessons through their online format, and they're willing to roll up their sleeves and able to push out that flexible scheduling if needed for families.
Thank you. All hands on deck. We're gonna make this work with support groups as well. Mrs. Torgerson, what might be some of the online resources we have for families that they can start looking into right now?
That's a great question. Let me pull those up.
Great, and what she's going to be pulling up for you is our district webpage for Cedar Woods School District. Right, if you log on to our webpage, this will be the first page that comes up, and there should be a link on there regarding hotspots. In there, and hotspots comes up. If you just click on the hotspot link, this is where our families can fill out a short questionnaire regarding requesting a hotspot, and our district is going to take this information and prioritize by need and start getting hotspots out to our families. Another item I'd like to make note of on our school district webpage is the school district's reopening plan. If you could just hover right over that. This is our document. If you would like to download that. Some important items in there I'd like to make you aware of is the district calendar will be in the opening plan, as well as the health department's guidelines for reopening school for in-person learning, as well as additional information and questions and answers throughout the document. And school enrollment, Ms. Torgerson, if you can hover over that. If you're a new student into a Cedarwood School District or would like to enroll into Purcell Elementary, just click on this link right here, and there's a quick form to fill out for new student enrollment as well as kindergarten registration. I'd also like to point out that you can select our school, Purcell Elementary, and we will be updating our webpage here soon with key information regarding this coming school year, as well as you can click on our social media page, Facebook, follow our Facebook page for updated information and photos of our school and newsletters that are posted on our Facebook account.
Mr. Cullum, I think families are being asked to make some difficult decisions right now, and some are considering homeschooling. What are your thoughts on that?
Great question, Mrs. Torgerson. Even though I can't speak directly on homeschool, what I can say is that we are going to be a very dedicated staff when it comes to this remote learning plan. We're going to get direct instruction from our teacher. They're going to be available through office hours. There's flexibility in our remote learning plan that works best for the student and the family during the day as well as into the evening. We know a big part of this is that we are going to come back soon for in-person learning. We're hoping that our students are already connected to the classrooms through remote learning for that social emotional component and getting connected with their peers. So when we come back to in-person school, they already have those connections with their classrooms and already know the routines of the teacher and familiar with the assignments and how the teacher is operating. We think that's a big difference, and we're hoping our families recognize that for remote learning. Mrs. Torgerson, what might be some of the calendar activities coming up? Would you mind sharing that with them? I'm sure our families like to know of some important dates within the next 2 weeks. Thank you. And just so our families are aware, September 8th is the first day of school for 1st through 6th grade. September 11th is the first day of school for kindergarten. Our secretaries are already back at work, answering the phones, emails, making corrections to contact information, as well as school registration. Kindergarten screening actually took place today on August 24th. Teachers and staff return to work on August 27th through September 7th, just getting their Google Classrooms ready, professional development on the upcoming academic standards that we want our students to learn. Some key dates here to be aware of. From August 31st through September 2nd, our teaching staff will be contacting families directly to notify them of their child's placement in their classrooms, as well as an introduction and some questions and answers for the families might have during that time. And on September 3rd, we are having a drive-through orientation into the school year, and that is the date that we will be handing out Chromebooks to our families, and the families have an opportunity to drive to our school to meet the teacher. They'll receive their Chromebooks and any other information the teacher needs to hand out. Thank you so much. Again, and just close, I'd just like to say we are so excited for the school year, and we are going to make this a very successful school year. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call myself, Mrs. Torgerson, or any one of our teachers or our secretaries for guidance.
Okay, and I just want to say enjoy your last couple of weeks of summer break, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. All right, high five. Thank you. Have a great summer. We'll see you soon. Bye.